Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think we're good back here.
We'll bring the assembly meeting to order for June 13th. Mr. Smith, will you lead us in the flag salute, please? Thank you, Mr. Smith. Ms. Wall, would you give us the land acknowledgement, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We would like to acknowledge that the city and borough of Juneau is on Tlingit land and wish to honor the indigenous peoples of this land. For more than 10,000 years, Alaska Native people have been and continue to be integral to the well-being of our community. We are grateful to be in this place, a part of this community, and to honor the culture, traditions, and resilience of the Tlingit people. Gunos Shish.
Thank you, Ms. Wall. Madam Clerk, will you call roll?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Bryson.
Present.
Ms. Hale.
Here.
Ms. Hughes Candies.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Nice to have you with us, Mr. Smith. Ms. Treem.
Here.
Ms. Wall.
Present.
Wallach Hiak.
Here.
Ms. Kladashevsky
Here.
and Mayor Weldon.
Here.
A quorum is present, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So we'll start with our special order of business first. We're going to read a proclamation, serial number 2988, a resolution proclaiming June as Juneau Pride Month 2022 and encouraging the people of Juneau to celebrate the diversity of our community. Whereas Juneau Pride Month is sponsored each year by Southeast Alaska Gay and Lesbian Alliance, SIGLA, the organization that provides social and support services to the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ community in Juneau and Southeast Alaska. And whereas Juneau Pride Month commemorates the 1969 Stonewall riots, the primary catalyst for the LGBTQ movement for civil rights in the United States. And whereas Juneau Pride Month celebrates the diversity of Juneau and of the LGBTQ community's tremendous contributions to our city, state, nation, and world. And whereas Juneau Pride Month celebrates Indigenous Two-Spirit people who have played an important spiritual role in Tlingit culture since time immemorial. And whereas Juneau Pride Month is an opportunity to unite individuals, organizations, businesses, and community leaders in support of equality for LGBTQ individuals, including freedom from discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. And whereas Juneau Pride Month promotes dignity, equality, and self-affirmation for LGBTQ Alaskans, this thus supporting all Juneau residents' efforts to participate fully in the social and economic life of our city. And whereas Juneau Pride Month will share its celebration by inviting the entire Juneau community to participate in a week of cultural events beginning Saturday, June 17th, and highlighted by the annual Pride Picnic held at Sandy Beach on Sunday, June 26th from 12 to 4 p.m. And now therefore be it resolved by the Assembly of the City and Borough of Juneau, Alaska, that the Juneau Assembly recognized June 2022 as Juneau Pride Month and encourages the Juneau community to join in celebrating Alaska's diversity. Do we have members that would like to come up and accept? Come on up. Thank you. And please walk down.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, with that, Madam Clerk, instruction for public participation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So for the members of the public who are in the room, if you would like to sign up, the sign up sheet is at the back of the room. For those that might be watching on YouTube, the phone number to call into to listen, we did have a sign up deadline of 4 p.m. today to testify, but if you would like to listen, the phone number to call is 1-253-215-8782 and enter webinar ID number 915-1542-4903. We are live streaming on YouTube, and also the link for the Zoom participation is at the top of the agenda at juno.org. Follow the links to agendas and minutes. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. With that, we'll go to approval of minutes. Ms. Hale.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I ask approval of the January 10th, 2022 Special Assembly meeting draft minutes, and I ask for unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, those minutes are approved. Ms. Wall.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I ask for approval of the May 4th, 2022 Special Assembly meeting and minutes, and ask for unanimous consent.
Any objection? Seeing none, those minutes are approved. Mr. Manager, do you have any agenda changes for us?
No agenda changes. Thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to public participation on non-agenda items. Do we have a sign up? I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Public participation on non-agenda items. And did you sign up at the back? Okay, so we need a sheet from the back. Oh, that's good. So, okay, I have a sheet of people that have signed up ahead of schedule. So I will start with that and then come to the people in the room. Mr. Kirby Day, non-agenda item TBMP update. Please bring over Mr. Day. And Paula noted that she was.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Assembly. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. Good evening. Thank you. My name is Kirby Day at 1302 Tarn Court, and I'm speaking to you tonight in my role as overseeing tourism best management practices. I thought a month or so, month and a half into the season would be a good time to just give you a very quick update. Through the end of May, we've received 37 calls on the hotline from 29 different callers. And if you compare this to the last normal tourism year of 2019, at that time we had 24 calls in the same amount of time, so a few more. It's a mix between calls about vehicles, cruise ship noise, whale watching, either the practice of whale watching or wake caused by boats, emissions, aircraft noise, large screen TVs, the visual sight of them, which we actually fixed and got the ships to turn those off completely now. But you know, the additional calls are not a surprise. I think that we've gone 2 years with virtually no tourism in our community, or about 10% of normal. As well, TBMP, along with the city, reached out over the first month and a half here and have really encouraged people through media and through talk shows and things like that to use the hotline, because it is effective. And we don't know and can't fix some of the things that are going wrong if we don't know about them. So we really encourage the public, and I think that's happening and why we're seeing some additional calls this year. The hotline is typically answered between 3 and 4 days after the concern has been posted. The only challenge there has been that our administrator is also an EMT. So there are 3 or 4 days sometimes where she is working as an EMT and then has to come back to the hotline. But she's done this before years ago, and so she's really effective and does a great job. The other challenge we're seeing is in terms of downtown and pedestrian and vehicle movement. It's the same issue that most businesses in the community and the state and the country are having. The number of employees. Gold Belt has typically had 11 or 12 crossing guards. They, up until this week, had 2. And I think they've hired 2 more this week, so that should begin to slightly improve. But overall, we're seeing a lot of the typical concerns in the community and trying to address those in the way we have over the last 20 some odd years. And I think the operators, are continuing to be committed. They're challenged too by the number of employees they have and just trying to get a day's work done. But everybody's committed to address the concerns as we get back into tourism and people start to realize that we have visitors again, which brings impacts, but it also brings some positive effects for businesses that had a very, very difficult 2 years and families and folks in town that needed a job. So we continue to be committed to it and are going to work hard to address community concerns. So I just wanted to share that with you this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Day. Any questions for Mr. Day? Go ahead, Ms. Glassius.
Just if you could repeat the hotline number so people
Sure.
know it.
Sure. The hotline number is 586-6774. The email is hotline@traveljuno.com. And we really are kind of encouraging the email because that's easier to get out to a variety of operators and easier for those operators to get back to the caller or the emailer. But either one's effective. It's easier for us if it's email, but we'll respond to either one. Thank you.
Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Day, for the update. I know maybe slightly sensitive information, but are you able to, can you say generally in the last couple of weeks how full the ships have been in terms of passenger counts?
Well, I don't have the visibility for every ship or every company. I can tell you that I've seen over the first month and a half ships as low as 40% full and some as high as 90%, and it varies. It's hard to tell where we're going to end up at the end of the summer. There's a lot of fluidity going on right now in terms of COVID requirements, masking requirements, COVID testing. But I think that we may end up in the neighborhood of about 1 million passengers. That's my guess. And I don't really have anything to base that on. So that would be my guess is where we might end up. But it's a wide range between, 40% full and 90% full.
Thank you, Mr. Day. It doesn't look like there's any more questions, and I have to take a 1-minute recess to ask some members of the audience what they're testifying in regards to.